Hey everybody, welcome back to the Track Limits podcast. We're here in Abu Dhabi and the Grand Prix just ended 2 hours ago. Henny,
Hello, hello.
what a week we've had.
Yeah, I felt like we've been here for how many weeks? It's only been a few days.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And our flight out leaves in 5 hours.
Yep. So we're about to wrap up, shoot this episode, and we're gone.
And guys, we're shooting this episode in our hotel room.
Yes.
The commitment is real.
Indeed. Go.
Lots to wrap up, lots to kind of go over.
course.
Before we even reflect on the race, I want to give a big thank you to DP World and McLaren for having us. We've done some pretty exciting interviews with them.
I can't wait until you guys see them. Oh,
It's going to come out. And actually, that is a good reminder. Even though the Formula One season now is done,
we're nowhere close to being done. So stay tuned.
a lot of content coming out in December and Jan. But let's run through the order.
Yep.
Order is Verstappen number 1, Leclerc number 2, George Russell back on the podium,
I was hoping for Checo, but we'll take it.
Checo, Perez in 4th. What a drive by him. Norris in 5th, Piastri in 6th, Fernando Alonso in 7th, Yuki Tsunoda, driver of the day, in 8th, Lewis Hamilton in 9th, and Lance Stroll in 10th.
Okay.
Fastest lap to Max Verstappen, and what a dominant season he has had. Henny, in the first half of the year, I was not sleeping too well. You remember that?
You were definitely not sleeping. You were sending messages at 3 a.m. in the morning.
Not 3 a.m., but yeah, close to 2 a.m. But then I found Mantis Sleep.
Yep.
And honestly, Mantis Sleep has been really helpful in helping me sleep, but helping me sleep in a very healthy way. They have an assortment of different masks here, everything from their 100% blackout mask to their cooling mask to help with cooling your eyes while you're sleeping. Silk.
Ha. Look at that.
No face wrinkles whatsoever when you wake up and also when you get older.
Of course.
And finally, Bluetooth embedded mask.
What?
I
All
know.
the sound waves coming in the middle of the night? Oh, this is optimal.
It's pretty incredible technology.
Yeah. And they're also pro-nap too.
What's
They're,
ProNap?
they're so against this BS corporate lifestyle where you have to go. They're all about taking naps, improving your vitality throughout the whole day.
So check out Mantis Sleep, guys, using our special link below. And also, if you want to use on checkout T-Limits, that's our code, T-Limits, you'll get an incredible discount.
19 wins.
19 wins.
Out of 22.
Beats Vettel's record.
Yep.
Now-
He's 54 wins in.
Now has the third most wins of all time. And how old is he?
20. He just turned 26, I think.
It's
Jesus.
incredible.
Oh my God. Imagine what next year's going to be. It's
What?
just the chase is, the count is just going to keep going up and up.
Yeah.
I mean, Christian Horner said this is an evolution of what we have this year. So next year's car, I can't wait. I just can't wait.
Yeah. We'll unpack the race, though. I mean, it wasn't maybe the most exciting.
No, not at all. I mean, we were in the North Grandstand and we were quite excited. And we were like, oh, that chicane, everyone's going to overtake. And we saw one.
We'll put it right here.
Yeah, we have the video of that snippet. And that was Alonso on, who was it on?
It was on a Ferrari. No, it was it on a Ferrari? It was on Sainz.
It's
Carlos
on
Sainz. It was
yes.
on Carlos Sainz.
That was a bold one.
Yeah.
Everything else, we kind of saw it on the TV. I mean, we had great view to the TV, and we saw some really good overtakes in the West Grandstand. So that would have been turn 6 and 7.
Yep.
That was beautiful. There was a lot of overtake there. Other than that, we were hoping for a safety car so that can shake a little things here and there, but we didn't get that. I'm trying to think what else happened in this race. That was interesting.
Checo's drive, like you mentioned.
Man, that was ridiculous. I was hoping they would do a one-stop, but the degradation kicked in really quick. And, man, I don't know. That penalty was interesting. Let's just say it. Not because I'm a Red Bull fan, but just through precedent of not giving a penalty on that corner specifically. And there's
Hamilton,
memories.
2021.
Exactly. So I thought it was just a racing incident. It did warrant a penalty, I say.
Yep.
But it did not affect Norris's race whatsoever. They were on completely different strategies, and Checo had a lot more fresher tires. He knew he was going to overtake him regardless.
Yep.
So, and there was no damage. Like you said, there was literally no damage to both cars, and he was just on a hunt, and it was good to see that from him.
I would have loved personally as well.
Yeah.
Not a Red Bull fan in the sense of like as much as Henny, but definitely a racing fan. And again, looking at a race that wasn't maybe the most exciting.
Yeah,
That definitely was one of the most pivotal moments.
Exactly.
I would have loved for that to be a racing incident. But again, the wheel-to-wheel combat, I think they've kind of explained the rules now even, right? Like you need your inside tire to be ahead of the car that you're trying to overtake. And Perez just wasn't there.
No, he wasn't, which was crazy because he had such a lunge, but I don't know if he went really hard on the brakes. We didn't see a lockup either, so it was interesting why he didn't turn in quicker.
Yeah.
He just like kind of pushed Lando a bit wide while they were turning, and that's why I didn't think Lando thought that he was not going to give him space, which is why he turned in, but hey, it happens.
And speaking of Lando, obviously could have put it on pole yesterday, had a bit of a slip up in Sector 3.
Yeah.
But then today, what did you think? I mean, his team obviously did not help him in the pit stops, but
I mean, I think he has mega drive moments, and I was even telling you this yesterday during qualifying. He makes too many mistakes in qualifying, and this has been evident throughout the season where in the races, we know he can drive, and we saw it compared to his teammate, Oscar Piastri. His tires were dying off. He can control that pace that he had compared to Lando.
Yep.
But he had a mega drive, too. I think Sector 3 killed them a lot, and that's where they were losing a lot of time, and we saw it again in qualifying.
Yep.
But, man, that car is going to be good
exciting,
next
right?
year.
Next
It's going to be
year.
real exciting.
Yeah.
I think the team said that they've found some loopholes compared to the Red Bull, so I think there's something that we're not seeing.
Yeah.
That should spice it up for next year.
I love that. On a positive note, McLaren now beats Aston Martin to secure fourth.
Wow.
Mercedes beats Ferrari to secure second. George Russell obviously getting onto the podium. Mega drive by him. I was mentioning this to you. I think it's a long time coming. Vegas, you had Singapore, where he made mistakes. But if he hadn't made those mistakes, he would have been on the podium.
Exactly. This is a good way to end the season for him. He had a lot of sad races that he could have either been on podium or finished higher, and those didn't end up happening, but now he was able to finish that, and hopefully we get to see more of the battle between Hamilton and him.
Which would be very spicy.
Exactly.
And then finally, speaking of Hamilton, I mean, I don't even know how to describe his race. I think he probably would say it was frustrating, maybe mildly even put.
Exactly.
But even at the end, not being able to pass Sonoda,
Huge.
that was depressing to watch.
Yeah. That's how you ending your season.
I know, right? Looking at the rear wing of an AlphaTauri again, just like he did in Imola last year.
Yep. And you never know what next year will bring. Now that they're becoming such a close team, Red Bull and whatever they're going to be called next year, we don't know.
Racing Bulls?
Whatever it is. They're only going to get better too. So Mercedes needs to
step their game up.
From the Bahrain testing. They got to shoot straight and make sure they close that gap, especially to Red Bull.
And teams like McLaren have shown development can happen very quickly in 1 year.
Yeah, but within 8 races, they were back and fighting podiums.
Yep.
Look at that, right? So
exactly.
It's interesting. But yeah, what do you hope for Mercedes?
I'm hoping for a fight against Red Bull, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think, like you said, I would expect McLaren to give us that fight to Red Bull. I think Ferrari and Mercedes, though, will continue to go at it. And again, there'll be some tracks where, like we mentioned, Ferrari will be very strong. Some tracks where Mercedes will be strong. I don't think anyone will come close, though, to matching Max with that Red Bull. Right? Like, I mean, Red Bull as a car is only one thing. Then you also have the best driver in F1 right now.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to say it. That is Max Verstappen.
It is a fact. And it's interesting because a lot of people say, "Oh, put him in a different car and he won't perform that well." Well, until it's said and done, we can't really say anything else, right? So.
And nobody can take away that he just had the most dominant year of all time.
Exactly.
Of all time. He beat his own record.
And what did he do? 1,000 laps? He led 1,000 laps, which is another record. It's like, holy crap.
Speaking of laps left, Yuki Tsunoda, AlphaTauri obviously came very close to beating Williams. Wasn't able to get it done, but again, what a drive by him on France Tott's last day.
That's the way you send him off. What better way? I mean, I was rooting. I was like, come on, Alonso, don't overtake him at the end. Let him get that P7, would have been?
P7.
Yeah, because he finished P8. And then Ricardo, I wish he had a better race and got double points. That would have been more epic, more than even just winning, having both cars get into the points section. And it didn't happen, but I think, Yuki showed out that he still has speed.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, everyone's like, oh, Ricardo's going to be faster than you. They're going to come after you. And he didn't. He showed up and he delivered.
Absolutely. Most surprising moment, Luke Howick. I'm curious what you think. Let us know what your most surprising moment of this race was.
So the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix was rather interesting. It was a good end to what has been a very interesting season. And I think for me, the most surprising moment / parts of the race was how closely the field was able to lap within each other. We had a huge DRS train at the beginning of the race. We had cars lapping within a tenth of each other. I was fortunate enough to be watching on multi-viewer and hearing the team radios. The cars were separated by only a couple of tenths on a lap each time, and Davison at Sky Race Control was talking about it as well. But also the fact that the cars were separated by 18 seconds after the first couple of laps, which is something that we haven't seen. So the field was really, really close, which is definitely surprising to see.
Thanks so much, Luke. Really appreciate the video. Guys, check him out on TikTok. Honestly, we really love your videos.
Yeah.
Henny, surprising moment for you?
I mean, I have to go back to what I said earlier. That penalty was definitely a surprising moment. I thought there was going to show up saying no further investigation, but no, we got 5 seconds for Checo, and I was like, come on.
Yeah.
That was mine. How about yours?
Mine, I think at the very end, not letting Leclerc do donuts. Ferrari, question mark?
Come on. That's so lame.
I mean, he tried his best. What was he supposed to do? He started in P2, he ended P2.
And he held up, I mean, for the first stint. I mean, he was within 2 seconds of Max.
2 seconds.
And I was like, wow, I was surprised because everyone, commentators, even the pace was showing that they will have the highest degradation, and they didn't.
No.
I mean,
it was only after the pit
stints.
stop, right? That after the pit stop, I think he was 4 or 5 seconds behind, and then you started to see him drop back.
Yeah.
Though it's clever for him to let Checo go.
That was smart.
Right? He's playing his own strategist, literally in the car thinking, okay, how do I try to get P2 in the championship by letting Checo go?
Yep.
Now, even Ferrari did think of that.
No. But that's great signs that he's learning from Carlos.
Yes.
You know, there's teamwork happening there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, well, guys, we're going to wrap this up because we do have an end-of-season episode coming out.
Yes, which will talk a lot more detail with the rest of our hosts and crew, and I think we're going to unpack a lot more of the highlights of the season. I think 22 races, there's so much to talk about, and talk about our predictions at the beginning of the season.
I don't even want to talk about mine. I think I picked... Well, preview.
Yeah.
I think I picked Logan Sargent to be Rookie of the Year. So,
I
don't even know if he has a seat for next year.
I don't
we
know.
haven't found out yet.
Apparently, a radio message from
James Vowles
said we have a lot more to do in the winter break. So,
boom.
It seems like he's staying on.
All right. Well, freedom rings again. We'll enjoy that. The American Eagle flies.
Oh, God.
Guys, thanks again for supporting us. Thank you again, DP World and McLaren. We are so excited to extend our relationship with you guys in the 24 season. If you enjoyed this episode, like, share, subscribe, do everything you can. We are so excited to bring you the best content in December and Jan. So don't worry, there's not going to be a drought in terms of F1 content out there. Catch you in the next episode.